and on with it all.
Welcome back to the Kato Show, where we take you on a journey through the world's most fascinating ecosystems. I'm Jacob, your host today, joined by Aiden and Matt. How's it going, guys?
Going great, Jacob. Excited to talk about the boreal forest today. It's a great ecosystem on Earth.
Same here. There's so much to explore in the boreal. From its unique species to its critical role in regarding the planet's climate, it's definitely one of the places that needs more attention.
Absolutely. Today we're diving deep into the boreal forest, also known as the taiga. We'll talk about its biome, the ecosystems within it, and the species that call it home, including one that's unfortunately endangered.
Right, and we'll discuss how the various species interact in this ecosystem, from the smallest insects to the largest mammals.
To start off, let's lay down the basics. What exactly is a biome?
Good question. A biome is a large, naturally occurring community of flora and fauna. It's defined by factors like climate, soil, and vegetation. The boreal forest is one of the world's largest biomes, stretching across North America, Europe, and Asia.
It's vast, covering about 17% of the Earth's land surface. The climate here is cold, with long, harsh winters and short, cool summers. It's found primarily in the northern hemisphere just below the tundra.
The boreal forest is crucial for maintaining the planet's balance. It's a carbon sink, meaning it absorbs and stores carbon dioxide, helping to mitigate climate change.
Now let's talk about the ecosystem. In any ecosystem, you've got producers, consumers, and decomposers, and the boreal forest is no different. At the base of the food web, you've got plants like coniferous tree, spruce, pine, and fir, which dominate the forest.
These trees are specifically adapted to the cold environment. They have needle-like leaves that reduce water loss and are coated in a waxy layer to protect against the snow and freezing temperatures.
Right, and because of long winters, the growing season is short. So these trees grow slowly, but they are incredibly resilient. They've also got a home to a variety of species that rely on them for shelter and food.
And the animal life here is diverse as well. You've got herbivores like moose and caribou, predators like wolves and lynx, and smaller animals like squirrels and snowshoe hares. Plus, there are plenty of birds like the northern goshawk and the woodpecker.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about the insects like mosquitoes and beetles, which thrive in the warmer months and play an essential role in pollination as food for many animals.
Now let's talk about the concept of communities and populations within the boreal forest. When we say community, we mean all the different species interacting with one another in the same place.
Exactly. In the boreal forest community, you have a range of species, plants, animals, fungi, and microorganisms that all play specific roles. For example, wolves might hunt caribou, but they also help regulate the population of herbivores, which can prevent overgrazing.
And in terms of populations, we can see how different species thrive depending on environmental factors. For instance, caribou populations depend heavily on the availability of lichen, which they eat in the winter months, and if the lichen is sparse due to climate change, the caribou population could be at risk.
The balance is so fragile, and when one species' population fluctuates, it can have a ripple effects throughout the ecosystem. A healthy population of predators, like wolves, helps keep the prey population in check, preventing the overconsumption of vegetation.
Speaking of populations, one of the most concerning issues in the boreal forest today is the decline of certain species. One that's particularly at risk is the woodland caribou.
Yes, the woodland caribou, which is different from the migratory caribou, is considered threatened in many parts of North America. Their populations are in sharp decline, mostly due to habitat loss from logging, mining, and human development.
The caribou rely on old-growth forests for food and shelter, but much of that habitat is being destroyed. They also face the threat of increased predation. With fewer trees to hide in and disruptions from human activity, they're becoming more vulnerable to predators like wolves and bears.
It's also worth mentioning the impact of climate change. As temperatures rise, the boreal forest is undergoing shifts in vegetation, in the types of plants that caribou depend on, like lichen, become less abundant. Their survival becomes even harder.
That's why conservation efforts are so critical. Organizations are working to protect remaining habitat and create corridors that allow caribou to move safely between different forest areas. It's not just about saving a single species, though. It's about maintaining the entire ecosystem.
The future of the boreal forest is in our hands. If we don't take action now, we could see irreversible changes that affect not only the species that live there, but also the climate.
But there's hope. By preserving large swaths of the forest, promoting sustainable forestry practices, and protecting endangered species like the woodland caribou, we can help maintain this vital ecosystem for future generations.
Absolutely. It's a delicate balance, but with the right actions, like stricter regulations, more protected areas, and climate action, we can help safeguard the boreal forest and its incredible biodiversity.
Well, that wraps up today's episode of the Derek Kato Show. I want to thank Aiden and Matt for sharing their insights. It's clear that the boreal forest is more than just a collection of trees. It's a critical, life-sustaining ecosystem.
Thanks for having me. It's been great to talk to you guys about something so important.
Same here. Let's just hope more people become aware of the boreal and its role in the health of our planet.
And thank you, listeners, for tuning in. Stay informed, stay curious, and join us next time as we explore more of the Earth's incredible ecosystems. Until then, take care.